New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's summertime, man. And, you know, it's tailgate season, barbecue season. Cop yourself a Cookin' Folk apron this season for the FinStailgate.com. We also have Backroom Collections, artwork, visors for your mini helmets. Great one-of-a-kind artwork for wherever you want to hang up your artwork. 10% off your first purchase when you use the hashtag code TFTG. And, of course, Dubby energy drink. Calio cream is my thing. It makes my heart sing. But anyway, use TFTG hashtag for 10% off. If you click on the link, you go there automatically and get 10% off. But let me bring up the crew I got in the back. Before we do that, hey, man, El Capitan will be coming on late night as usual. Yeah, Color and Ali for the top of the tailgate. You got myself and Lewis with Crypto in the evenings with the Smoke Lounge like today and the Drive Time this Friday. Then you got KP Saturdays with his fantasy sports talk and Tonk TMI Tuesday. We're substituted, but hey, man, this is going to be a great season for the Fins Tailgate. Let me introduce you, mi hermano cubano, the one, the only, Mr. Rabbit Dolphin. Dímelo, hermano.
Hey, well, Shake, what's going on?
Not much, brother. How you doing?
Oh, man, you see it. On the way home from a long day's work, but
hell yeah,
love doing the show, man. So we're all here. Oh, and sure. You know what? Listen, I finally see a Buffalo Bill fan. Look at Michael K down there in the chat.
Oh yeah,
the crawling from under that Zach Wilson rock.
What's going on, brother? What's up, Michael K? What's up, Adam Sadowski, Flipside Fishing? Oh man, I wish I would have set the timer right, but it is what it is, man. I appreciate everybody for showing up, man. We'll be slowly getting, and let's bring up the OG of the group. What's up, Color? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, Shake. How about you, man?
Last night I toasted the first victory. And by the way, let me tell you something. Again, if anybody knows drinks Hennessy or drinks Cavassier, these little things, you put them on these things go great on your sparkling. If you do champagne, the shit maintains bubbles on it. So use this as a topper. Excellent. Boom. You only have a couple of days before that shit goes flat, but whatever. I'm gonna drink me a PIMP, which stands for Prosecco, pineapple in my Prosecco. But anyway, listen, man, we're off to New England. And what a way to start off, man. Let's start off with the injury report. I have it right here.
Sweet.
All right, we got the injury report.
Any growings? Any growings?
Growings? We have, of course, Trent Brown and Sidney Sow. They're both concussion for the New England Patriots. You have center David Andrews with a hamstring. Wide receiver Kendrick Bourne with a hamstring. You got offensive lineman, ankle, wide receiver Devontae Parker, knee, and another guard, Cole Strange, with the knee. So a lot of their offensive linemen are injury on the injury report, which is kind of good for us. And then we have pretty much the same players from last week. So Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Xavier Howard, Brandon Jones, Connor Williams, tight end Elijah Campbell, Julian Hill, Taron Armstead, and Areem Mostert. So the only one who didn't participate was Mostert, but everybody else was either limited or full participation. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, that Cole Strange is a tough one to lose.
Yeah, it is. Yo, Dolphinier, what's going on? Adam Sadowski, my man. So anyway, listen, you know how we usually do press conferences. So I'm gonna do something different today. I'm gonna be there. You are, Louis. I'm gonna be playing the Bill Belichick press conference.
Oh, nice.
So,
we get to roast him.
Yeah. So from now on game day, on game Wednesday, only on Wednesday, I'm gonna be playing the other team's press conferences, coaches' press conferences, to hear what they kind of compare and contrast.
Oh man, finally we can get some real head coaching answer. I mean, never mind. Sorry. Direct and straight to the point. You know what I'm saying?
That's what and then I'm also going to do a comparison with Tua and Mac Jones. So this is going to be a good. But before I listen, I'm glad you're here, Louis, because I wanted to talk to you. I want to get you guys' opinion right now. Miami is at plus minus 135. New England is at plus 110, and right now the score line, the points is 45.5. Vegas has it. The point line.
And what's the spread?
45. You said 45.5.
Yeah, points. The total points. You know what I mean? The total
What's
points.
The spread?
I didn't see the spread. I just seen minus 135 and plus 110 from New England. We're at minus 135. And here's the thing. New England, you look at the Patriots, right? They played the Philadelphia Eagles, who has probably one of the best offensive linemen, best run game in the league, and Eagles only had 97 yards in the ground and 167 yards together versus the Patriots. They put up 327 yards, 251 in the air, 76 in the ground all together. And then you look at Mac Jones, he had 35 of 54 for 316 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. And their leading receiver was like 70, not even 100 yards. So that tells you right there that they're spreading the ball around.
Damn, Mac Jones had 350 yards throwing?
316.
Oh, well, still, damn. I mean, damn.
3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Okay. And that supposedly Devontae Parker didn't play, so that's without Devontae Parker.
Yeah. And like I said, their leading receiver didn't even have 100 yards. Not even 80 yards.
Man, I bet you it's a bunch of dump downs and stuff, check downs to the running back.
Yeah, because think about it. He had 54 attempts versus Tua. Tua had 40. No, actually, Tua had 45 attempts. So he had 10 less attempts than 10 more attempts and had less yardage than Tua. But then again, if you take away Tyreek Hill, Tua only has 251 yards. Just in perspective.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah. Just to put into perspective, I'm not saying one is better than the other. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I just like to put it into context.
Well, I think there was some good conversations today. You know, again, I hear Color say it all the time, and I agree with this. Listen, talent-wise on the rosters, when you just look at rosters, it's clear as day Miami has the more talented roster.
Yeah.
But I would never doubt Bill Belichick. I think Miami wins. I think Miami at the end pulls away. But I do, again, even the first meeting last year in Miami, it was only 20-7. The defense, I believe, scored 7 points. Offensively, we only scored 13. Bill Belichick is a master on the defensive side of the ball. We always give that deference to Vic Fangio. I think the greatest defensive mind, at least my eyes has ever seen, is Bill Belichick. I think Miami wins. I think Miami kind of pulls away at the end. But yeah, I'm looking kind of for a dogfight. Yeah. I don't think you're seeing Tua throw the ball 45 times for 466 yards and 3 touchdowns.
No.
I think that's a safe bet. So,
you know. But here's the thing: you look at when that's impressive when you could hold Philadelphia to 97 pass rushing yards.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
You know, a team that has one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL right now, and they had a point running game last year, and only hold them to 97 yards. That's pretty impressive. At the end of the day, look. At the end of the day, I brought this up when I was doing the me and Crypto did our picks last night, and one thing I brought up is you got to realize that New England, number one, no matter who's there, who's the defensive play caller, because they don't have defensive coordinators, they have play callers. Wherever the play caller is, you're running Bill Belichick's scheme that he's had there for 20 plus years. And at the end of the day, Bill Belichick isn't going into a building with 80% new players and teaching them a new scheme. The players that he drafted, the people that he brought in the building, he knew that was specifically for his scheme. At the end of the day, Vic Fangio, I think Bill Belichick has more of the advantage where he has his players set in his ways versus Fangio has to get players to fit his ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely agree with that. It's going to take a little time. You know, with that being said, though, Shake.
Yeah.
You know, we got our own guy, Crypto. Crypto has already came out and said he believes Mac Jones is not going to throw a pass in this squeeze game. That would be, I do kind of agree with Crypto. I think Mac Jones is going to throw the ball. Let me, make that very clear. But I do think New England, again, seeing what this defense looked like week one, and I'm not going to sit here and debate. I heard people today say that was kind of Vic Fangio's game plan. I mean, hey, I wasn't in the room. I don't know if that's the case or not. I just know that if New England or when New England tests us in the run game, we got to be better than what we were Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what – I don't care if it was a scheme or I don't care if it was just the players getting beat.
I think it was both, Lewis.
Right.
Really do.
One way or another, we got to be better.
Yeah,
I think that the game plan, I won't even call it the scheme because it's really not a scheme. It's a game plan that we ran with Sunday.
Right.
I think that could explain a big running performance, like 150, 170 yards against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't explain 250 plus. That's also effort. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, look, we're going to probably likely get an extra guy in the box. And if our guys can, rarely do you see a team get burnt like that twice by a running game 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Any team. I mean, not just the Dolphins, but so I mean, I don't know. I'm not, but
no, trust me. New England has been gashed for 200 plus yards. So it's not out of the realm that defenses get ran on like that. So you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so I think we're probably going to be able to maybe score a few more points on them than we did last year. they may be able to have more success in offense than they did last year against us. I'm referring to the game that we actually had Tua and everything. So the second game, I mean, you know, we were in position to win that game too. So ESPN Analytics has us, not to steal your thunder, Shake, but ESPN Analytics has us at 61% to win this game.
61.5%.
Yeah, and we were 44% to win against the Chargers. So there shouldn't be any reason why we can't have confidence in our offense to put up some numbers. And I don't think the Patriots offense can keep up, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But when I look at to be honest with you, when I look at ESPN, I look at it like weather forecast. It says 60% chance of rain, and doesn't rain that day. There's been times where it's 20% chance of rain and it pours like a motherfucker.
Sure, as I always point out, to be fair and balanced, going against Buffalo, the first game of the season last year, the one that we won, we were only 17% to win that game to start it. So, you know, again, that quickly changed during the middle of the game, because that thing does change throughout the game. Like, it adjusts up and down as the game goes along, and it's fun to follow it sometimes.
So this is gonna be an interesting press conference. I listened to it because, like, this is my tradition. This is the only time a year I listen to it, is Bill Belichick's press conferences, because he does give very interesting press conferences. So if you want me to pause in between, just so this is a Bill Belichick's press conference. He's going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins. So if you those tuning in, you're not in the page. This isn't the Patriots tailgate. This is
got any guesses as what he's going to say about us? I got one. Great football team over there. They run the ball well. They pass the ball well. The coaching is really great.
Yeah, pretty much nailed it on the head. All right.
You know, pretty well balanced teams. You know, been interesting the way that you know, they've kind of put the team together in the last couple of years. But
damn, right out the gate.
Obviously, a very, very explosive group. You know, Waddle and then Eden, you know, Tyreek, a couple offensive linemen last year. You know, Connor and Armstead and Mostert, and Barrios this year, you know, as a third receiver. Got a well balanced team. Quarterbacks played, you know, very well. I mean, he's had tremendous production the last couple of years. You know, led the league in a lot of different categories, passing the ball. So got a really efficient, you know, guy running the offense. You know, a solid offensive line, a couple of very explosive skill players, you know, the run back and the receivers. So defensively, obviously, it's been a big overhaul for him with Vic coming in. You know, a ton of respect for, you know, Vic as a coach and, you know, what he's done. Multiple times we faced him, and, you know, just watching his teams over the years. Very disciplined, sound, extremely well coached, and, you know, well prepared defense. Obviously added a lot of depth at the corner position. You know, starting with Ramsey and then you know, Cam, and, you know, trading for Joseph. You know, to go with, you know, Kahoo and Howard at Eli. So, you know, a lot of depth there at corner, and Elliott in the secondary. So a lot of new faces back there. You know, Long's a big acquisition for him at linebacker. You know, much different type of player than Landon was, which I think is indicative of kind of the change in philosophy and shift in the way that they're, you know, playing defense. And of course, you know, a good front there with, you know, Wilkins, Seiler, and Raekwon. You know, pretty solid up front. You know, a couple of key additions in the kicking game, you know, with the punter and a returner. You know, both guys have been here, so got background with them. You know, and added a couple special teams players, you know, most notably Joseph in the core. You know, Cam Smith plays a little bit in there too, Brooks. And then, you know, their core guys from last year, you know, Van Ginkel and obviously Justin, you know.
The one thing I could tell you about this press conference, at least he's not dressed like a homeless person.
Good players there.
Bro, this man has named our whole damn team.
You know, the big changes there with Bailey and Barrios. So team that's, you know, got a lot of experience. and most of the players they've added are, veteran experienced players. I've had a couple undrafted guys come through for him, Kahoo last year and, Pilly roster.
I think Bill Belichick's a secret Dolphin fan.
Defensive line rotation, but they had a lot of veteran experience roster players. And so, really explosive game against the Chargers last week, scoring with on a penalty.
He might be submitting his resume.
Ends up being a 2-point game, and and then they make the stop. With really 3 out of 4 sacks on the last 4 plays of the game. So, pretty impressive ending defensively too. Their pass rush and defensive playmaking and stopping ability. So, interesting to see this team. The way they've come together, the way they built it the last couple of years, and looking forward to getting ready. We played them at the end of the year last year, so we've really seen all their games. From start of the year last year to the end of the year last year to what they've done this year. So it's been a really pretty full and good look at the progression of this team since last September.
Given how explosive they are, how challenging is it to try to contain or keep track of how they're using motion, the different ways they motion?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, there's a lot of it. So, yeah, and we've got to deal with all the San Francisco, Kyle type offenses.
Well, by the way, hold on.
San Francisco. So
one of the questions they're going to ask him is, what it's going to come up soon. What difficulties does a left-handed quarterback pose? So it's coming up soon.
God.
Yeah, I love some of his answers, man.
Dude, if he says something about the spin of the ball and it affecting the DBs, I'm going to lose it.
Obviously, you face.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny.
What are some of the more unique challenges when it comes to defending a lefty quarterback as opposed to a right-hander?
There's a little more awareness in the pass rush. Certain plays that would favor the quarterback's throwing hand. Pocket movement plays, but he's athletic enough; he can go both ways. So
you heard him; he could go both ways.
It's certainly an awareness thing of knowing what it is, but I don't think it fundamentally changes the offense too much.
Bill, yeah, you talked about Vic Fangio in the opening. I was just wondering how you view him as a strategist from week to week, shutting down different offenses or attempting to.
Yeah, I think Vic's one of the best defensive coaches in the league. So he has his style and his.
Oh, she's a native.
His defense philosophy and system. And, he's had a lot of success with it.
Hey, Bill, against the Chargers, Waddle and Hill both averaged.
Spoiler alert, they're not going to talk about Tecmo Bowl.
Over 19 yards every time they touched the ball. And Tua had 0 sacks. Is there a correlation there in terms of pressure on Tua and allowing plays to develop? And that is one of the keys against those weapons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you pressure, you better get there because when those guys get the ball and there's not many people around them, you're looking at a lot of yardage. And a lot of their yards are run after catch yards. I mean, it's not all like go routes and post routes. It's actually not a lot of that. It's a lot more, catch and run plays. So you start bringing a lot of people, you better get there because there's going to be a lot of space behind you if they get the ball. And they're both very good with the ball in their hands.
Yeah, namely 2 safeties that get split by freaking Waddle.
Is that more or less window dressing for the same few concepts, or are they employing that in a lot of different ways?
Yeah, they do it. Yeah, they use motion in a lot of different ways. Yeah, of course, it changes the formation, makes defenses adjust, and then sometimes they use the motion as an advantage to run certain plays, and sometimes they use it as a decoy to run the play that complements the play that they use the motion for. So, pretty standard. It's most offenses do.
We talked or asked you about player curious in your experience. Do you ever see that with new play callers? Obviously, Mike McDaniel going to second year.
I don't know. They had a lot of production last year too. And scored over 30 points in 8 games. So
You could tell he really wants to be there.
Yeah, no, I never coached with him.
Bro, never mind.
Did you see the semblances of that last week with Desai, the way he called for his defense?
I mean, there were some similarities.
I agree.
They're different.
I must hate people too because I want to be just like Bill Belichick.
So what Philadelphia does with some of their players features some of their players, and what Miami does features some of the guys they want to feature. So.
Cole Strange and Micah Leonard, do you still see them tracking in the right direction towards eventually getting back to play?
Oh yeah, I think they'll eventually play. We'll see when that is. I'll just take it day by day. We've had last time they practiced was Friday, so 5 days later, see what kind of progress they've made.
Yeah, I ought to ask him what he thinks about the Jets now.
I know you were asked about Juju's conditioning level the other day. Was he healthy enough to finish the game Sunday?
I swear to God, I'm listening to a Brian Flores press conference.
We'll get the injury report today. So.
Yeah. We're gonna.
We could only wish.
We're gonna go look at the tapes, make the corrections, move on to next week.
I mean, you know what the injury report was, the injuries during the game and all that. So it's the best I can tell you.
After the game, Matt was pretty hard on himself. I think he said something like, I let the defense down. Do you like that type of accountability from quarterback players? Is it necessary? Is it not necessary? Just, what are your thoughts from players?
Yeah, I don't feel any different than what I said after the game. None of us felt good after the game. We all wish we could have done a little bit more. So I think everybody's in that category. But we're done with the Eagles. That game's over with, so we're moving on.
Bill, how good was it to see Ty Montgomery back out there, and what can he add to the offense when he's healthy?
Yeah, so it's great to see all of our players out there. Any ones that aren't out there that come out there, that's always a positive. So, yeah, it's great to see Ty out there. Hopefully we'll see some other guys too, but when they're ready, I know they're trying hard and working hard to be back out there. And so when they're ready, look forward to having them. But yeah, it's good to have Ty back.
Bill, how much has Christian Barmore improved in terms of early down stuff as a run defender, in your opinion?
Yeah. No, Barmore's had a good spring, good camp. I think he's playing well.
Against the run, is there anything in particular against the run that he's run with, or is he the same guy?
No, I said he's improved. I think he's gotten better. Like most players do when they practice every day and they're out there every day and they work hard, then they improve. When they're not able to be out there and miss time, then it's harder to perfect your skills and improve. I mean, you do what you can do, but it's a lot easier to improve as a player when you're on the field practicing and playing.
Do you hate Mike Gesicki yet, Coach?
Calvin Anderson.
I'm getting there.
Are you impressed with his ability to get in the football shape to be able to play an entire game?
Yeah, I think Calvin's doing the best he can. I mean, he's dealt with some things this summer, but I think that's all in the past now, and just move forward. He's worked hard. I'm sure he'll do the best he can to be ready to go. All right, great, thank you.
See, look, at the end of the day, here's one thing I want you guys to look at right quick. If you look at that press conference, right? Now you look at the Dolphins press conference. Their press conference, you could hear the reporters. You could actually understand what Bill Belichick's saying. So, and what I'm trying to say is, whoever the Patriots media is they need to send notes to whoever is the Miami media guy is. Just saying.
But listen, I just want to say this, Shay, and I'm going to preface it by saying I love Coach McDaniel.
Me too.
This is no shitting on McDaniel,
but
right there, when people tell me, well, listen to Coach McDaniel, he's a fun-loving guy. He's so funny. Bro, in not one press conference that I've heard from Mike McDaniel has made me chuckle. Not even once. And I love to laugh.
Yeah.
Right? I heard Bill Belichick in this 8-minute press conference, and I chuckled about 4 or 5 times. And he, again, bro, someone asked him, well, what about the injury report or something? He said, well, all those injuries, they came from the game, and that's all I can tell you. That's fucking hilarious. Like right there, get to the point. If they would have asked McDaniel that, McDaniel would have gave you a 3-minute seminar. He would have told you how he fixed his PC last night and not even answered the fucking question. Like, what? That's not funny to me.
Yeah.
I love McDaniel. I just like that personality of Bill Belichick, the Brian Flores type, that no nonsense. I like that. That's what I like. I'm just saying, for me, I don't know. This is gonna be horrible. I might as well go do the weed eater around my yard while you're playing this.
And this is not. It's dude. This was a 10-minute press conference from Bill Belichick. This is 20-minute video. I'll probably only play a 10-minute video. I'm not gonna torture myself. So here we go, man. You ready?
So I'm just gonna ask you if you thought Armstead or Elijah Campbell.
And I think the last thing because
I think
press pass revolt.
I think we'll see a little of Armstead today, and we'll see how that goes. And then the next day, we'll assess that. Was starting to get Elijah into individual drills and go through that process as well, because again, the foremost priority is guys come back without having a setback, or we're just trying to do our due diligence. So it'll be cool to see them.
With Armstead, is it more the injury, or is it the
what's good, CB83?
Just being able to play 50 plus snaps.
Bro, G, what's going on?
No,
Roadrunner.
It's more.
How you doing?
Of, I when players always want to play, and then, we obviously want them to play, but there's some, I don't know, gut feeling that he might have to resort to a style of play that just to get through. I don't think that's fair to him or his teammates. And there's if there was a scenario that it was.
By the way, shout out to Papa Paul, man. He had if you're not watching the West Coast Dolphin fans, they had
Richmond Webb
on there. I haven't watched it yet, but that's on my bucket list for sure.
It was a good interview yesterday, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list, trust me.
The only human being possible, you'd maybe consider that, but probably not. The biggest thing is that you have to have depth on your football team. And I don't for him and the Dolphins, you just don't want him to gut through it for a cause, and then the tape doesn't go away. So we're it's part of our personal relationship, and he respects and regards those types of decisions, which I appreciate.
A couple of personnel questions. David Long, why was his snap count so low? And also Devon Achane, why was he inactive?
So the game day actives are real, and there's only a finite. And when you have areas of your team that necessitate certain things, you kind of have to go light on position. So that's why Devon was inactive. And really the it's kind of what I was getting in front of last week about week 1 and how interesting it is, because it feels like Groundhog's Week, where and I get why. It's because there's all these thoughts and opinions and people care, and then something happens and then you have a whole week to sit on it. Well, week 1 in the first year of a.
By the way, if you want good film breakdown, good film analysis on Sunday's game, I recommend you check out my man CB83. He did a great film, A+ job this Monday morning, as always, man. So
that's cap.
I feel you, brother. But here we go.
System. I mean, how often does everything never change during the course of the season? You know, so I think it's especially with new players on this team and a new system that that is the really the formula for that game. But that's a far stretch to say that it's going to be that way the next game. You know, these are things that there's only 11 on the field. We have some depth, and you know, every game presents different challenges, and you have different tools in your toolbox. So he'll keep working, and his teammates love him. And you know, I'm not expecting that to be the norm. But you know, the players decide that, not me. Ironically.
What are some things you'd like to see cleaned up on defense this week?
You know, I think the biggest thing is you want to see a
No, that's where you're wrong.
Of progression.
I only cry when I watch
whatever
your
the
film.
outcome
Right
is,
down.
and literally, you could talk about both phases. Are you going to have a game that's not as desirable as you'd like? Does that mean now you should try to improve? So then you have a game that you do like, and you let your foot off the gas. That the idea is that we have to improve on certain things, and specifically, you know, if I could sum it up, I think there's a lot of people with the right motivations that we're trying to independently make plays and not thinking about technique and fundamentals. So that's been my message to them.
Oh, the old freelancing excuse. All right. I like it.
All players, really, it's humanity. People, if you're able to worry completely about what you can control and only that, it's amazing what individuals can do.
Here we go. Here goes the tangent.
Point.
Humanity.
Tua about his game and say, hey,
bro, we don't even know what the question was originally. We're like, who knows?
Technique and fundamentals every play. So that's a process that is not easy. It is very hard in this world to not worry about all the stuff that you can't control. But if you're able to do that, you might turn the page and find yourself getting better at what you actually care about.
I saw a stat this week that you guys, going back to week 1 of last year, excuse me, are the best team at passing against cover 1, and the Patriots, going back to that same time, are the best at defending in cover 1. What is it about their defense that makes them so difficult to attack in that package? It's kind of rare these days.
You know, it is amazing to me, and I hope one day I could even sniff this. It's amazing that the orchestration.
We got a Chris Forrester on their hand. He's talking about sniffing stuff.
So fundamentally consistent and sound. The strain, very, very detailed.
The memes of are there going to be of him pulling his finger up with a white substance on it, going, "I wish I could sniff this."
We're all like, "What's an iPod?" Like that's so. I mean, it is not. And the coolest part about what they do is it's not because they're entitled, because they are. It's because they work at stuff. You can really see it, and you know, they have very strong and consistent technique and fundamentals that you can tell that.
Is it funny that we can talk over the guy and nobody's actually missing anything?
That
No.
It's non-negotiable.
I agree.
And then they work together. So I think they are unique in what they do, and that's a testament to, you know, from an X's and O's standpoint, one of the I don't know, founding fathers of.
Well, that was the furthest thing from X's and O's, bro.
You know, so it's pretty cool to watch. Great challenge, and that's what you want. You want to be challenged week in, week out with different things, because again, you're preparing to try to be the best version of yourself against the best teams when it matters most.
By the way, I counted 466 ceiling tiles holes in my ceiling.
And I was curious, when you go to coaches, like high school coaches, college coaches for seminars, and you tell them, here's 1 or 2 things scheme-wise that can help you get guys open obviously the answer is get really fast players like Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. But from a scheme standpoint,
coaching right there.
What can you do to really
This is hilarious.
enhance that?
You know, that's something that there's a little bit of fortune involved. You kind of made the categorical consistency there, where you're able to learn under somebody that does it the right way, and that is constantly challenging what has been done, or relentlessly watching tape. And that's why I've so grateful for Mike Shanahan, and there's so much that was embedded when that's your standard. So I think it's hard to like X's and O's, like what are your players, skill sets, what coverages are you seeing, what fronts, like everything's so specific. Like if you were to ask me, give me your favorite cover one beater, I'd be like, what? Who's the defense? Where are the matchups? What's the structure? Are they
No, I do agree with CB
here.
here.
So the idea is, though, that I think you don't. When I talk to coaches, I it's not like I know how to coach in high school or college. I've never done that, but I think there's an element of consistency with good and fair scheme that there's a why for everything you're doing. It's abstract, but like literally every alignment, every assignment, every motion, literally everything. If you exhaust that process, you end up coming out with a solid a solid opportunity that doesn't even matter unless your players are bought in and they fully immerse themselves and do all the hard work and labor. So to me, we're coaches professionally, we get paid to, and inherent in that is a devotion to players and their success. So I think that's kind of I think that's the standard that is inherent in being a coach, that you should be attempting to put your players in advantageous situations, and you only do that when everyone's invested. And then but I think that there's the biggest point is that, like, I'll draw up sweet sick plays on this board right now. They mean nothing. I've been drawing plays since I got started in 2005. It's the players that make it come to life, and that's the cool thing to watch, because you watch the whole process and know that the execution is earned, not given.
Like when you have to make a decision during
I wonder if he has a computer simulator where the X's and O's all move around after he creates a play.
Like the last game. Do you get a sense of adrenaline at that moment? Like, is that an exciting time for you? What's that moment like?
Hey, what's up, Kelvin?
It's the purest form of living. You were locked in every blink.
Ian Baller in the building.
Like time stops really, and you're just trying to. I get proud of whatever the decision is, and honestly, regardless of the result, if the decision's made for the right reasons. And sometimes the adrenaline, when I recognize there's a decision that, before I send the play in, I know if it doesn't work, what comes next. But I think it's very important that you take the job serious enough for me, I wouldn't be able to sleep if that factored in. And so in the moments, there is a little adrenaline, only because,
is he talking about Mostert running out of bounds at the end there? I don't know.
With all of my information, with all the preparation, it's the right decision for certain reasons, and that is far from saying I know it's going to work. But it's it's living.
Mike, you had mentioned, excuse me, you had mentioned about Tua. I'm just curious, today he was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Which I don't find offensive. Just seeing if you guys are awake.
My question is this:
Fair
just all
enough,
the work that he
immediately.
put in, whether it be the jiu-jitsu or whatever else he did during the offseason, to be stronger. As you watched this Sunday, was it just something that you felt that this was going to happen right out of the gate, considering he didn't play until, what was it, last Christmas against Green Bay?
You know, it's funny. I talk about it with the coaching staff because we're very fortunate to be around some really, really good players that stand the test of time. And so when we're practicing and as we're evolving in our techniques and getting better and better, you know, there's certain things in practice that you're like, wow, that's haven't seen that in a game before. However, I really, it didn't surprise me that guys were able to execute. It made me very proud of all the training that it took because I know how that was for all people involved. You're witnessing their most invested, intentional, deliberate execution of whatever they're doing. But like, you know, I didn't know it was going to work. Players decided on the field, and sometimes players decide to be the best versions of themselves, and you don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. But I knew something. I knew with the way they invested, it was either going to live up to their expectations or it wasn't. Either one, we have to flourish at. So, do you?
I love how he took the question off of Tua and included
cool,
anybody
well
else on the
earned,
team who
but
worked
that
extra hard
means
on
nothing on this
themselves.
Wednesday for the Patriots. Literally 0. I checked with the league. We can't take the points from last game and put them in the points of this game, and that will always. So it was really, really cool. Little thing that you'll look back on. And that night, it was, you know, as a team, it felt nice to see some of those rewards. But you know, the goal this offseason, the goal for these guys' lives wasn't like, man, I'm gonna have a good game. So you have to keep that in perspective. But excited to see what they do with that moving forward.
Like, I don't know if you were watching live on Monday night, but obviously Aaron Rodgers' injury is a big league story. What's your reaction to him having the season ended?
No, I was watching the Patriots, but I heard, you know, a couple of people came down and told me, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you don't want to ever see that. You know, I think it's important for all teams that they're the best of their ability for the sake of the game and the product that we want to deliver on. But I also think that, you know, I did check. Someone also did tell me that they won the game.
That was pretty cool what he said, though. He said he wasn't watching the Jets game. He was watching the Patriots game. So it's obvious that he's preparing for his next opponent.
And I think there's a lot of players and coaches that I know on that team that, you know, they're all of their hopes and dreams as NFL players and organization wasn't to hang out with and play with one guy. It was, and they still have a lot of players. And I promise you that the Miami Dolphins won't be a team that overlooks them because of anybody not being there. Granted, it is one of the greatest players to ever do it. And so that is supreme adversity, you know, and if I was a betting man, I think that team will find a way, but we shall see.
What are some of the qualities that River Craycraft possesses that make him a guy you want on your team?
You know, I think he's been in 7. He was cut 7 times, I think, before making an active roster. Do you realize how Well, first of all, the professional athlete, the
That's
investment it
crazy.
takes,
Yeah.
and then the lack of control that you have in situations like that, if you're an undrafted player or something of that nature, and then the fortitude to say, I can, you guys are wrong, and to keep coming back means that he's spending a lot of time not worried about stuff that he can't control. And, I've had a lot of people tell me that I couldn't do a lot of things. Generally, whatever I'm doing, the first time people see me, they're like, you can't do that, whatever it is. And I think that, so there's a place in my heart for it, but like that bottom line is you have to be a special individual when you put that much on the table and then the moment comes and you're able to produce. I think that's what all the players see. And he, makes his teammates better around him. So that's an important part too.
How have you seen the Patriots offense change in the limited sample size with Bill O'Brien taking over as the OC?
They play football in the rain. So that's 100% right now. There's, you can tell there's some good relationships going on there. There's, Bill O'Brien's always done a really good job. And I think they're, doing some things that you can tell when there's connectivity between coach and quarterback, and there's stuff that he's playing very confident in. So it's it's a good litmus test when the quarterback's playing better. Generally, everyone is, because they go hand in hand. And he can only be successful if his players are in the right spots, doing the right thing. So there's definitely some tempo going on. There's some different formations. There's just different ways to attack it. Similar to what he's done in the past to a degree, but then there's new things. So the crazy thing about NFL Sundays is then you could just come to work on Sunday and he could have 5 wide receivers, no running backs or tight ends every play. You just don't know. There is some unknown in that regard for what they're doing. You have one team that is known on how they want to do attack. But outside of that, you have to defend everything. So it'll be a good challenge for us.
What time are you going to bed if you're waking up and going to work at 2:30, having seen the ESPN piece?
I was like, are you following me? Is there a nanny cam I don't know about? It just depends. I think for the most part, you try to compensate. Science keeps telling me that you do need sleep to function. So you do compensate with earlier nights when you can. There's some late ones, but I'm super fortunate because my wife and daughter get my back, and as long as I make it to Thursday or Friday, really, they positively reinforce naps. So although the science doesn't support like cram sleeping, I debunk science with that. So a lot of coaches, there's just a lot of stuff to do, and I'm in the morning I might be the only person for a little while, but there's always people here when I leave. So and I make sure to stop by and say, what time did you get in? I was earlier.
That was Mike McDaniel's press conference, everybody.
All righty.
So
yep.
I
Well,
hope you enjoyed it.
Not quite the snooze fest. That's been.
Oh man.
No, actually, I think he's getting better personally. I know people still kind of hate on the way he does his press conferences, but if you heard the one yesterday, he actually answered a question without psychoanalyzing it. It was pretty good.
All right, so Ali,
Okay.
I don't know if you came in, you just came in, but on Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing compare and contrast. Before I did the Mike McDaniel's press conference, I did I played the Belichick's press conference to compare and contrast. Now I'm going to be playing Mac Jones's press conference, and then I'm gonna play Tua Tagovailoa.
Right on, right on. Before you go, Shay, can I just say on that? I said
go
it
for it.
earlier, but I don't know if I got heard. I did like the way that he, he took that question off of Tua and made it about the whole, like anybody on the team that worked extra hard on their body in the off season. You see what I'm saying? Like he kept using they, like talking about players in the plural, and even though the question was specifically about Tua and his jiu-jitsu and all that.
Yeah, it was really you're absolutely
Yeah.
right, Color, and I think that's good. We're now
Yeah, he switched
transitioning
it.
from just about Tua, but about the team instead.
Exactly.
That's definitely
He
true.
wasn't gonna, because I mean I understand that you want to support your quarterback, but you also don't want to make every single thing about him when other players probably work just as hard getting themselves better in the off season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they get a paycheck on the first of the month as well.
Right. So he was almost saying to the guy, "How dare you ask about him and not everybody that applies to?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Hey, make sure you're hitting the like button, please. Do your boy Shake a favor, man, and everybody in the Smoke Lounge, do us a favor, hit the like button. And no, I agree. I think what he's trying to do is not put pressure. Somebody was saying about the Legion of Boom was they started having resentment towards Russell Wilson because Pete Carroll was making it all about the quarterback, and that kind of built resentment.
Right.
Towards him.
Right.
And
Right.
I think he's trying to do the same thing.
And plus, it's also his nature. When they asked him about himself, he didn't want to take credit. He's like, "No, I don't go out there and play the game." You know what I mean? Like, because and totally like took the question off of himself, like when they asked him, about something to the effect of how it felt to. Or how he would feel to beat this guy or beat that guy, and he was like, "I don't beat anybody. The players, are the ones that have to." You know what I mean? Like he took it off of himself. Like y'all mistake my job. You know what I mean? My job ain't to beat anybody. I don't see it that way, and I'm not going to take credit above my players when they're the ones that actually go out and do it.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is going to be. First, I'm going to play the Mac Jones press conference, obviously, and then Tua Tagovailoa. So here we go. No further ado, Mr. Mac Jones.
In your mindset as you get ready for the Dolphins?
Yeah, I think biggest thing for me is 24-hour rule, win or lose. Just, enjoy the win if you win, and then learn from the loss if you lose. So just trying to get better at those things, apply those things this week in practice, and then move on to a really good team.
Before I do go, I want to. I never really listened to a Mac Jones press conference, but I would like to see
if they adopted the Belichick mindset, which he just did in that last statement.
That
automatically right out of the gate praising the next team as opponent, regardless of how good or bad they are.
No, I want to see if Tua and Mac Jones have that Nick Saban. You know what I'm saying? So it's how they answer their questions. You know what I mean?
Right, and also quick tech check, Bo G. Let me know if the microphone's better for you, buddy.
All right.
Honestly, just as good as the defense. They're really good up front. They got everybody, back pretty much, and it's always been a big challenge going against these guys. They're definitely one of the top defenses, in my opinion.
After division overall, what do you see?
I mean, honestly, I'm not really focused on that right now. Just trying to get ready this week and get ready for the Dolphins and a division game. So that's what you have to focus on, is the division game in front of you. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
How important is it to you that your teammates see you as a tough player?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in that. But just standing in there, taking shots if I have to, just continuing to grow in that matter. Always felt like as a quarterback, you have to show that in your own way. Some guys do it differently than others, but you also have to be smart This is a league full of a lot of really good players, and they're coming to knock your head off. So got to make sure you show that passion and show it in unique ways. For me, it's standing in the pocket and ripping it.
Not gonna lie, he sounds like he's a little stuffy, like he's been crying, bro. Just saying.
I was gonna say he sounds depressed.
Yeah, obviously prayers to him. Great player, Hall of Fame player, and hope he has a good recovery.
Matt, Bill talked today with a lot of respect about Fangio's defenses through the years, and Hunter talked about it as well, having gone against them with Broncos. Curious, when you watch the Chargers game in particular, the head coach of the Chargers came from the Fangio tree. Does that give you any kind of insights into terms? I know it's a different game, different personnel. This would be a different scheme from them. But in terms of how to tackle the defense like that.
Yeah, I think Coach Fangio has a lot of respect around the league. He's been around for a long time. Was in Philly last year for a little bit. Obviously Chicago, Denver. So he has a great background. Has called a lot of football plays, and his defense is pretty sound always. The guys know what to do. They're very disciplined. But yeah, I think each week there's going to be some carryover, just like with coaching trees and things like that. But at the end of the day, he's kind of the top dog. He's the originator of all this stuff, and he's done a great job his whole career, and I'm just looking forward to going against him.
Going back to your guys worked on 2-minute drills quite a bit.
Yeah.
2-minute situations, and how can you continue to improve from those situations?
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, working in practice, done really well in practice, and just carrying it over to the game, not putting too much on a certain play, just play each play one play at a time. And really, we've already talked about what we can do better, and just going out there and trying to do it is a challenge. But that's the fun part about the game. You get a chance to, learn from your mistakes, and then go out there, and it's going to come up again. Could be this weekend, could be down the road. So you never know when it's going to come up, but definitely want to improve in that area.
Is there anything specific you guys have talked about? You said you talked about specific you guys talked about?
Yeah, I think Coach O'Brien does a great job every week just telling me what I need to get better at, and the communication is very open. So I know what I need to work on. We know what we need to work on together, and from there we're going to come up with a plan so that I play better in that situation. And he's calling great plays, called a great game, last week in a tough situation, and this week hopefully we can get into a rhythm.
Max, I think it was the first day of training camp, maybe the second you told us trust was the word of the summer.
Yeah.
Just checking in on that specific to K-John and Pop.
Yeah.
How have they developed your trust, and where are they in that area?
Yeah, they've done a great job coming in as a rookie, just working really hard in the weight room, in the sprints and everything. So they're definitely dialing on the details, and really it's just trying to make sure we're working together, which we are. They're smart guys, and I want them to just go out there and play fast. And I feel like they both did that. And don't chase the plays, let the plays come to you. That's what I always tell them, and they're doing a good job.
I was wondering if you knew anything about him and just how you feel about working with him.
Yeah, I think Ian and I played against each other in college, and he's a great quarterback, and we're excited to have him in our room.
Now, with all you guys been through, training camp all the way through, and that one game under your belt, how important, where is your sense of urgency for this week? Find a way simply to get a win.
Yeah, I think you get so many opportunities during the year to do that, and this is the next opportunity. So definitely want to have a good week of practice and control the controllables, and go out there and on Sunday and feel prepared and let it rip.
This is the second week in a row you're playing against former teammate, quarterback on the other side. I know last week you said it's not really about that because you don't actually play against them on the field. But what does it say about the quarterbacks that have come out of that system lately? Bama?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I never try to focus on, that part of it, but it's really us against the defense, which Miami has a really good defense. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for the guys that I played with in college and stuff, and they've done a great job in the NFL and learned a lot from each one of them, differently. Some things, from one guy and some things from another. So it's been good to learn.
Mac, I asked you on Sunday about the use of bunch formations to kind of kickstart the offense.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you've seen from Big Fangio's defense against those kinds of looks?
He does a good job of playing his calls, but he definitely has some adjustments depending on players and things like that. So really for us, we have our core plays, and executing better at a more or higher rate, I guess, is what we're focused on. Trying to get, more good plays than bad plays from those formations and situations. So really, I like all the formations we have, and just continuing to expand on them is important too. But it's good to move guys around and get guys in different spots for me too.
This style defense, I guess.
Did you get to know Ian Book at all during the draft process? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors.
Just curious if you got to know Ian Book at all during the pre-draft process.
Yeah, a little bit. It was different with COVID and stuff like that, but yeah, I thought he was really good in college, and obviously I'm glad to have him here. I feel like quarterback rooms need to work together to help the team win, so hopefully we can do that.
Against Vic Fangio defense. Thanks, Stacey. How important is it that you and your pass catchers are on the same page in terms of what you're seeing, especially from the safeties? It sort of has that reputation of playing around with those guys a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. They do a good job of that just based on the early film. And for me, it's just playing fast, getting the ball out to the person that's supposed to go to, and letting those guys play free, regardless of who we're going against. Just trying to, distribute the ball. If I'm supposed to hand it off. If I'm throwing quick, throw quick really well. And if there's a shot, take the shot. So it kind of falls into those buckets. But they do a good job with disguise, and a lot of teams will do that against us. And from there, you just have to play fast. Cool. Thanks.
Man. I tell you what, if a quarterback doesn't work out for him, he could always be the new Peter Parker in another reboot.
Oh, damn. Damn. Hey, was it me, or every answer he provided, he didn't sound confident at all, in my opinion, throughout the entire press conference. He basically gave answers that was, hey, I'm going to try. We're just trying to get better, but he didn't promise anything. He didn't say, yeah, we're going to definitely try to do this. And he didn't sound confident behind it. You know what I mean? There's a stark difference. Now listen to Tua and let's see how he sounds. I bet you he sounds 100 times more confident than this guy.
Yeah, well, we got it right here. So let's do it. Let's do it.
And fuck McCorkle.
By the way, I guarantee you, he another thing too. He looks like a whatchamacallit, a state trooper from Polk County. They was given a disposition. There we go. There we go.
That's a good point, DDG.
I was like, oh. So you had mentioned
fire freaking shirt.
I think of the last week.
Yeah, it is.
The game that you felt healthy, you felt strong.
All I need is the old
Everything you
logo,
did in the
not the new
offseason,
one.
Whether it be jiu-jitsu, whatever else you did, how satisfied were you Sunday with everything that you had put in?
Well, it was a good team win. That's how I look at it. That's how I always look at it. Without the guys up front blocking, without the guys outside catching, without our run game, going, none of that for me was possible. And without the defense getting that stop against a good offense, I don't think we'd all be here talking about the win that we had and the accomplishments that everyone on our side of the ball had. So.
Video that you had.
They kill me when I say it though, too.
Throw from that 30-10 where you ran up through the deep ball to Tyreek. What's the thought process in working on some of those plays that to some appear like they're very rare that they would come up in a game, but that when you do work on them or when they do come up, it helps that you've practiced it?
It always helps when you're practicing something and you've practiced it to a point where it becomes second nature. That's a point of emphasis that I've had this off season, and it's also things that we've been able to work with our guys this off season as well, with our receivers, with our backs, is when plays are broken, when the first read's not there, second and third read's not there, or there's pressure, where guys need to be, where guys are going to be in certain times when the pocket breaks down.
So we've seen you have some of your best plays after a mistake or after a turnover or something like that gave some ridiculous passer rating and the play right after. What has that process been for you in terms of forgetting what just happened, being resilient, and just going out to the next play?
Yeah, I think that's been a big growth for me this offseason, is being able to sort of erase the last play and really hone in on what the next play requires of me. And, you know, the saying of each play stands on its own merit is sort of the approach that I take when I'm given a play to go and, you know, throw out there. Sometimes that play could be interception, or I could have got sacked on that play. We call it again. You can't think, okay, since you threw this interception, you're not going to read it this way anymore. You're going to change how you read it. For me, it's all right. Each play stands on its own merit. How would you read this if you were in your flow? You know, you would read it this way. So that's how I try to, this OTAs, this training camp, that's how I try to put my frame of mind in as far as each play. And, you know, you just got to go out there and make the correction and continue playing.
So we heard Tyree talking about meetings that I guess y'all's receivers and quarterbacks had after practice or started doing after practice. Is there anything more that you can share about those meetings?
Yeah. I wouldn't say started doing. I would say that's something we've been doing since last year with our guys. Been getting the guys together since last year to talk about where we want them to be, you know, how we're expecting them to run a certain route, if it's a seam route versus this team, if it's an out route versus this team, things to be aware of. And then there's a lot of other things as far as communication that we talk about, like on a Thursday. You know, I get the guys together and we talk about third downs. Like we don't have any meetings after that. The coaches aren't in our meetings, so that's been something that we've been doing since last year.
So nothing new. There's no new implementation.
There's no new meetings. Nothing. That's how we've been doing it.
To you said you don't watch cable or you don't really watch TV. But obviously after your
Yes, please smash the like button, everybody. Smash the like button.
your MVP odds, I think you're the leader in a lot of sites. I was curious, after a performance like you have, I mean, does your phone buzz a little bit more? And if so, I mean, how do you compartmentalize and focus on maybe letting every game stand on its own merit?
Yeah, I would say it, like when you start the season, it's week one. Everyone overreacts on everything. My personal opinion. Take that for what it's worth. You know, you're either gonna win the Super Bowl after you win your first game, or you know, you're the worst team ever, and everything that comes with that. So, you know, I would say for myself, that's one of the reasons I don't pay too much attention to you know, the outside noise. But yeah, that to me, that's all it is. Like we still got to go on the road, and we got 16 more games to play against 16 really, really good teams. And it starts with New England this week, and that's our main focus.
Speaking of familiar opponent this weekend with the Patriots, that's a defense that's known for really changing the post-snap picture compared to what they show pre-snap. How challenging do they make it on you with how they money things up post-snap?
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of good things, and it starts with their front. You know, their front seven, how they're able to maneuver, you know, where guys are, their exchange in personnels, making things look the same in that sense. You know, Coach Belichick has been coaching in this league for way longer than I think I've been alive. So he knows exactly what, you know, he's
467 years to
his guys. Nothing new under the sun for that guy.
Hey,
So
hey,
we
Shake,
gotta come
pause it
out,
real
we gotta
quick.
be prepared.
All right, I got
we
you.
understand
Hold on.
that's a physical team, and they're gonna make us earn everything that we can.
How is going against?
What's up, Lewis?
Well, it's just real quick because I like to piss people off. That's what I was told earlier today. So
Yeah,
let me
for
try
sure.
to do it again. Richard McLean, the Wolfpack is not welcome on the Tua train. Keep off. He had already mentioned why is the Wolfpack watching the Tua video. Well, guess what, Richard? Make us. Come up here, physically come on the channel and tell Color, Ali, me, Crypto, KP, and your host Shake Money to stop.
No, I don't pay him no attention.
You see how easy?
We've literally watched every single Tua press conference since
exactly.
since we started the channel.
But you see how easy it is? Make us.
Listen. I don't want to be on. Hey, listen.
Now that you can't make us, go fuck yourself. You see how easy that was?
Listen,
Perfect.
I don't want to. Listen, I got my own train. I don't want to be on anything that he's on. So
I just
You
think
can have
it's
your own
funny.
train, bro.
I just think it's funny. The
Cool
gate
story.
now the
Yeah.
gatekeepers.
To be honest, bro,
Again,
Tua's going to be on our train. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter. We're winning. We're Dolphin fans. So
Take
if he
your
wants
Chevy,
to,
take your Chevy to the levee.
and why is he on a Wolfpack channel?
Hey, Shake,
Yeah, then why is he on exactly?
Years of your career.
Hey, Shake
How has it
Money, you
helped you
see,
have success?
these are the comments. These are the comments right here.
It helped me
That's
have
your boy,
success
but I think he's a
because it's
clown
tough
for
with the
comments
way
like that.
They set their fronts.
Encouraging
Like
that
for me,
that retard behavior.
Within the early years,
Again, I don't pay it no
protection was a
attention,
big
bro.
thing, and that's something that if it's not schemed up well,
It's
that
just
it could give you
talk.
problems
It
regardless
is what
if
it
you
is.
have the
Yeah, I
fastest
know,
guys
but none of us
outside
go to
or
that sorry
if
ass
you have the
channel
perfect
and do it
play
over there.
call.
But don't worry, I'll be
It
going.
really doesn't matter.
I'll be
So,
going over there to troll
we're gonna
too.
have
Don't
to
worry.
really hone in on our technique and our fundamentals as well going against this team.
What does Mike do so well from an X's and O's standpoint to get guys open?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of moving parts in our offense, and that gives a lot of communication off to the defense. If they're going to pass this, if they're going to run with that, what they want to do. If we go from a spread out 3-set to a condensed 3-man side, if they want to triangle, if they want to box, like whatever they want to do, you're forcing the communication. And then all the things with, if we're running right, we got guys sliding right, sliding left. You don't know if it's a run, if it's a pass, if it's keeper. So there's a lot of things that I think Mike does really well, given what the rules are for the defense, to put our guys on the offensive side of the ball in good position.
Quick follow-up, I can. Is it more complex this year than last, or is it just
No, it's not more complex. I think it's just the guys feeling more comfortable hearing the plays in the huddle, understanding what we want to do on this certain play, and then going out there and knowing what to do.
Thank you, Tua. Neither the defense is that much more complex.
That traveled like 50 yards in the air, and you've been taking deep shots this past week anyway. You took more deep shots than just about anybody in the NFL. What do you attribute that success to? How much better do you feel about your ability to strike deep? How did it all come together?
I think when you,
Three of them were
look
dropped.
at deep shots,
Okay, never mind.
It entails everyone. It like for those like watching, it's like you can't just take a drop in the NFL and just decide, hey, because everyone says I can't throw the ball deep, let me just chuck this ball deep as far as I can. Like it entails everyone on the offensive side to work together, to be in symphony, and guys to be at the right places at the right time. Like timing has to be right, and if timing's not right, like when the pocket breaks down and it allows for you to do that, then it does. But like being able to do that, that's because of all the guys that I'm surrounded with.
Do you think that anyone is still saying you can't throw deep?
I don't care.
Can you pause?
I mean, I don't care. 466 that's what 466 is if I can't throw deep. Thanks.
Yeah, does he?
the
guy asking the question, does he realize that?
I mean, every year's a new year.
Short.
4-0, 0-4.
So I just
Doesn't
want to
matter.
put it out there.
crazy.
I want to point it out there. He's our quarterback because he's our quarterback of our team,
Yeah.
first of all.
Mm-hmm.
But for all the people that are super, and I'm trying not to use the word two-and-ears because they hate that. Whatever you want to call yourselves, the people that are super on Tua's train, if you want to call it that. He just said the only reason he's successful is because of everybody else on the team that participated in the plays. It takes everybody. It's not just the left hand of God or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a team effort. It's a team. And both Mike McDaniel and your quarterback are now transitioning to it's not about me, it's the team.
Yeah.
So I just want to point that out.
And then listen, at the end of the day, we're a Dolphins channel. We support everybody in the Miami Dolphins. We're partners with Miami Sports Music. We're partners with the Finzaholic. We're partners with a lot of people in this community. So at the end of the day, we're one big happy community. And if you don't like the fact that some of these guys are critical on Tua or Jesse Davis or whoever, then it is what it is, man. You're welcome to leave. You're welcome to comment. It is what it is. I don't care.
I support the Miami Dolphins. I don't support everybody in this fan base, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
exactly.
And whoever
I would say
that's where we differ. Everybody has their right to support who they want to support.
Yeah.
and not. You know what I'm saying?
And whoever made the channel Ali's helmet cam, just so you know, every quarterback, including Aaron Rodgers, wears the helmet cam, including Tom Brady. He did, in fact. And it's a tool to use to get, to understand what went wrong when teaching. So, okay. So that's not really funny, to be honest.
I'm also a supporter of Finn's with CB83. I'm also a supporter of Larry L. So
we like them all, bro. We like all Dolphins supporters. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. So
even on the Twitter Spaces, there's people there. I support and everything. Everybody, doesn't matter who they are.
The OG. Don't forget the OG. Ennis. You know what I'm saying?
Ennis. All those guys. Everybody.
So let's continue with the press conference. I reckon.
Like, I don't care. I don't think those guys care. I don't think my teammates care. They care about this year. And what problems that team has to offer us, both offense, defense, and in special teams. So we're looking for a tough game, and it's always tough to go on the road against a team like that. I mean, it's against a Bill Belichick coach team, so you never know what to expect.
You talked a little bit about that 3rd and 10 play, but what did you see from your eyes? I mean, saw the play, it looked like a receiver fell down, but can you maybe take us through that play from your eyes?
Yeah. Really, I think they defensively they try to play double robber with running Durham through the middle, which is what they did with their linebacker last year, number 49. But with that play, we had a spin route, and then because of the timing of it, Reek had to kind of miss the count before he ran like a man go, basically. And my read was to read it inside out down to the back. And that's basically what I did. I read the spin. It was unfortunate that Jalen fell, but very fortunate that he fell because we were able to step up in the pocket and find Tyreek down the sideline.
To see Tehran.
Good. It was really good. See someone like Tehran. I don't know if anyone was driving here early in the morning, but Tehran had his car broken down. And I think I'm a bad teammate because I passed him and I didn't come back. Yeah, I did. Well, like, I wasn't going to pull off to the shoulder and just reverse and be like, yo, Tehran, I'm coming to get you. But yeah, I seen him, but it was like one of those things. I seen him, but I wasn't sure if it was him. And then I didn't know what he drove to. So it was one of those things where I was just like, hey, Drew, I think that was Tehran on the side. He's like, oh, yeah, that was him. I was like, well, I'm here already. I can't go back. So, yeah, but it's good to have him back. His leadership, just his presence in the huddle. Guys love him. But, that doesn't take away from the work that Kendall Lamb has put in, as well as Austin Jackson and, basically all those guys, Connor Williams, Rob Hunt, and then we got Isaiah Wynn. Those guys have done a tremendous job against, Bosa and Khalil Mack. So
damn, no Liam,
and I hope
no Eichenberg mention
offensively. I want to ask you about Durham.
Honorable mention.
Obviously, he put up a pretty productive game last week. Is there more potential for what he can do now that he's kind of the featured tight end?
I'm gonna hate this answer.
I would say yes. There's a lot that entails
the GOAT, Durham Smythe, tight end one.
Durham in this offense, and I mean it's a lot. He probably has maybe the second or the third player. Most responsibilities, and that's between Connor.
And that's Cap Ollie.
I got to take myself out of that. It's between Connor and maybe Alec Ingold, but he definitely has a lot on his plate, and he makes it work. He's one of those sneaky athletic guys that you wouldn't think could do much with the ball, but I think he's put more than enough on tape that guys need to be cautious about him.
Do you see parallels early in your career between you and Mac Jones? Maybe the way he's been judged through his first 2 seasons, and now maybe has a chance to get things right with a better system around him. Now finally having an OC, things like that.
Yeah, I don't think I've paid attention to the noise of anything for any of the other guys, or basically myself. But I know that Mac's a competitor. I know that he's going to want to make things right. So it's a no-brainer for me that regardless of the outside talk, you know, that he's gonna be himself.
Yeah,
he's gonna
do
go out
that.
there and
Do
all he
that,
can to
CB.
help his team win. But yeah, you know, Bama on Bama. That's what happened last week with Jalen and Mac, and then Mac's got to go again, Bama on Bama. So, you know, we'll see. It'll be fun.
Back to back, Bama.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, so anyway, let me look at the floor real quick. I got a few things I want to talk about real quick before we get into the next topic. You know, everybody knows Chef Jew, if you're in the greater Miami area, is starting a catering business. Hit him up, 786-804-8096 if you want some good food. If you're looking to get some a party catered, anything like that. He makes cupcakes, great brownies, and all that good stuff. Speaking of which,
say word.
I think that Josh Allen was inspired by Chef Jew, and he started his own bakery.
Turnovers.
And by the way, I had my caption on, and I heard this. Diggs, are you ready to choke in overtime? Allen, yep. By the way, this Saturday night, man, I am going to be in Fort Myers, Keys, a bar and grill. I'm gonna have some fish and chips and wine, but they have a great 10-piece from fries. It is I'm telling you, I had it. It was amazing. Come join me at Fort Myers at the Keys Bar and Grill, man. I'm gonna set up shop there. But before I do, hey, listen, El Capitan, before I welcome you real quick, Papa Paul has a special announcement that he's gonna have on tonight. So with no further ado, Papa Paul, what's going on?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. Going good. Tonight, my show at 8:45, we have Troy Drayton coming on for about 30 minutes or so.
Great guess.
Okay. Troy Drayton will be on tonight.
Former tight end.
Yes.
Long time he's worked in Dade County Public Schools, Paul. May want to ask him about his career working with the schools.
Okay.
Good interview.
But he played for us 93 to 96.
Yep.
And he agreed to be on. He agreed. Yeah, he agreed to be on. You know, he said he could only do 30 minutes tonight, but he'll probably be on other shows because he likes doing this stuff. He says.
Cool.
Well, put in a good word. We don't bite the heads off over here, Papa Paul.
Oh,
well, we try not to, anyhow.
Right.
You just over here. You just sit back and listen. And when you know there's something wrong with someone saying something, you got to learn how to speak up and speak loudly.
That's right. With your chest out.
Yeah. The only person that bites people's head off is crypto.
Yeah, and well, I don't know. Lou does that too. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, sometimes.
I try to be gentle.
Hey,
I try to be gentle.
Lou, I forgot to mention, I know you're handing out aprons, but I'm going to be getting a new Durham Smythe apron that I'll be handing out to you a lot this season.
Oh, damn.
Well, I'm hoping. Again, I'm a man of my word, even though there's certain people in the community, Cliff, that will tell you that, I'm not ready to apologize or nothing. But like I said, Ali, I think Durham Smythe had a hell of a game on Sunday. Hopefully that continues. And I was wrong for at least 1 week. So there you
we'll
go.
see what happens. I'm just messing with you, Lewis, but we'll see what happens. You're definitely right.
The Smythe train continues.
Yeah.
It's all aboard the Smythe train. Got to continue.
So
one week. You got a lot of weeks to make up for, bro. I mean, that's just 1 week.
El Capitan, how much of the show did you catch?
I haven't been able to catch very much, man. I've been out here at practice with my son. He's out there doing drills right now. Okay. So,
I was just curious because we did every Wednesday from now. I'm gonna reach out to some of the YouTubers from the other team and make that happen. But every Wednesday,
good luck, Shake. Because I'll be honest. Well, then again, we only had I don't know, maybe 2,000 subscribers. Definitely under 2,000 this time last year. So maybe they'll come around. But honestly, they're scared. They're scared, Shake. They're scared, and they're scared more often than not because for whatever reason, people don't like to They don't want to take an L. The only guy I got to come over was the 49ers fan, Wayne Breezy. He came over and he got it. He got the game, the trash talk. We had a great time.
Don't forget the
scared,
Bears
bro.
fan. Don't forget that Bears fan.
Well, yeah, that Bears fan was a piece
Dude,
of
that
work.
Bears
that guy.
fan was nuts,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, let me give it a shot. We'll see what happens. But anyway, no, the thing I'm doing is I played Bill Belichick and Mac Jones press conference, and I'm comparing and contrasting. See how.
Well, Master at Work would come over. He'll come over. He's been over too. So I guess there has been a couple, but a lot of them are too scared to come over, bro. They don't want to get into this lion's den of Dolphin fans, and you know, especially over here at the tailgate, we do it extra, as everybody knows.
Master at Work, he's busy right now with the round table, but yeah.
Yeah, he's busy.
But now,
going
hey,
out
I'm definitely the week of the Bills. Not only am I gonna go 1-on-1 with Michael K, right?
Yeah.
I got Red, White, and Bills coming over as well. I already got him booked for that week.
Well, Shake, that's a great segue, Shake. I was gonna ask you, gentlemen. I mean, I don't know if anybody has his personal number, but we got to make sure that Mark has heavy pockets, because it seems to me that every time the Bills lose, Mark has to suddenly abandon his home and move. He went from San Diego to New Mexico last year, and I haven't seen Mark anywhere around. Did he move?
No, he came around. He came in and said that we had a hell of a game and that his team sucks,
I
bro.
think he did on Stephen D. Show.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I respect that statement.
Yeah, but after he takes that L to the Dolphins, what's he gonna do when he loses twice? Gonna move twice in a couple of months? Wow.
Yeah, bro. It's like, come on, man.
He gonna be living out the back of his truck or something, boy. What's up?
Hey, Mark must be like CB83. When Tua plays bad, CB83 loses internet. We all know how that goes.
Yeah, CB83 be hiding that face, boy.
No internet connection. Oh, he's going to a homecoming.
For the Bills, Mark is moving to section 308, where he's going to meet Michael K, supposedly.
I thought you were saying section.
You said Mark is on Section 8? Is that what you said?
Hey, by the way,
that's what I thought he said. According to Michael K, Mark is calling him out to meet him at section 308 of the Bills Stadium. Oh yeah. They're gonna put hands on each other, but Michael K says that he can't see him all the way down from the 100 level, so he can't. That's what Michael K said.
And when we talk about hands, we mean two thumbs in each other's asses. That's what we mean by putting hands on each other.
Yo, that sounds like some kind of British porn magazine, Section 308.
Damn.
By the way, shout out to Miss.
See, this is why people don't come to the tailgate right here, guys. This is it right here. God damn it.
Sound like
all
the
right,
back
I'm
room
sorry,
of a
Cap.
brothel.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cap.
Shout out to Miss Fins, though.
Check out Color and Miss Fins. Yes,
shout out to Miss Fins tonight. at 8 o'clock.
Tiger can't change its stripes.
Since we're plugging real quick, since we're plugging, check out me and Color tomorrow on top of the tailgate, which there will be one, which is Thursday's SmackDown. So definitely check out Thursday's SmackDown on top of the tailgate.
And don't forget about the fantasy football show on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. right here on Finn's Tailgate. We're monitoring the fantasy football league and everything else fantasy.
Absolutely. Finn's rolling around here making sure watching my P's and Q's. Color. It's only a half hour, Color.
And since we're plugging, you might as well go catch Mark and Michael K in section 308. Since we're talking about plugging.
Damn! I thought you were gonna land with the Dolphin wrap-up show.
Hold on, Bill. That's another word for saying two Bills in one cup.
Damn.
Wow. Yes, it is.
Lewis, I was gonna say, there's no plug-in, bro. That dam is wide open. It's coming out.
They're not talking fishing. They're not talking fishing. Yeah, they ain't talking fishing, y'all.
Damn.
Man.
Somebody poisoned the watering hole.
Hey, Miss Pam.
Hey,
Miss Pam.
Hi, Pam.
What's that meme, Cap? We got to get that one back, man.
How you doing, Pam?
How you doing, Miss Pam?
Hey. So what is this? Who's calling out who? Because
we just put names on it all, Miss Pam. You know how we get down around here.
I love that though. Put names on it because
yeah, Miss
there's a
Pam.
lot of hurt feelings. A lot of people
constantly pamming it up.
Well, did you hear? Did you hear Miss Pam? Miss Pam, did you hear the latest installment of? I forgot the name of the show, but the show that Par and Omar Kelly do.
No.
I'm going to have to drop that video in the group chat. We say it all the time that these guys are listening to us. Omar Kelly, and I quote, at the 12-minute, 33-second mark of the video says, there's a lot of people in the fan base working with feelings, and then and then he says, he follows that up with him and Alan Pupar are going back and forth, and Alan Pupar is talking about Christian Wilkins Spliff. I'm sorry. But Alan Pupar says something about Christian Wilkins, and Omar Kelly, he's talking about Wilkins, but he's not actually saying Wilkins' name. And I quote, Omar Kelly says, put a name on it. Whoa, where have you heard that before?
Put a name on it. Yeah. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
I've spoken to Omar Kelly a couple times. He will be making an appearance at some point during the season. We tried to get it in before the season started, but he just got too slammed up, and so we'll in the near future he'll be coming around yonder.
Listen, I hope he does.
I want in on that.
I am going to find Omar Kelly's burner account because he is definitely listening to us. So I am on a mission.
Oh yeah, he in there.
Yeah,
I like Omar, man. Omar, I've been listening to him since the jump.
Look, I like Omar, man.
He's
At least
deep in the
he's gonna
bowels
give
of
it to
the
me
chat.
real.
He'll piss you off by telling you the truth sometimes, but hey, you know.
Whoever keeps up the biggest for Robbie Chosen is the Omar Kelly burner account.
Or Jesse Davis. Or Jesse Davis, because that was his guy.
Well, if you didn't catch the show, Miss Pam was on the show last night talking with Richmond Webb as well.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Y'all know how wonderful Richmond is, and Papa Paul did a great job with the show. It was so good, and you know, Richmond is just a real guy that is so conversational. He presents himself as just a fan, which we all know is just not so. But he's so wonderful.
Shout out to Joe Riss. Shout out to Joe Riss with the $2 donation. Finns will win the division by more than one game. Hey,
Joe. Yes.
Yeah. And we had Richmond on. We had Richmond on for over an hour last night.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
You know, I'm hoping to these Dolphins, get like 12 wins, and we're fighting for number one seeding. Because I'm telling you what, fellas, if the Dolphins can figure a way to make the road through the AFC to the Super Bowl, run through the 305, it's a wrap, boys, ladies.
Yeah,
and ladies. I'm telling you, it's a wrap.
I do too.
I love Hawaiian shirts.
It's awesome. It's all the right colors. But you're not wrong, El Cap. And I honestly, so Richmond was saying last night, it's been a long time since he's been this excited about our team. So that was straight from him. He doesn't have to say stuff like that, and he's not a guy that just says whatever. So I know I felt that way. I know a lot of you guys have felt that way about this team. And then when you get somebody like Richmond Webb saying that, and he was talking about the offensive line as well.
Yes, he admitted when he heard Armstead was out, he got worried, but he was overly impressed with the offensive line, the way they stepped up and everything.
And the perfect pairing with a Super Bowl would be Richmond Webb in the Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah. Well, we're pushing it. We're pushing it. But he also, we asked him about this coming Sunday's game, and straight out of his mouth, he believes it's going to be he didn't give a score, but he said we're going to dominate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking 34-17. I think it's 34-17. I'm dead serious. I feel like we're come midway through the third quarter, we're running away from this thing. Yeah. And I think the defense is going to tee off. I think the defense in the beginning, they might lick us with a couple of runs, But before long, once we get about 10 points out and they got to abandon the run game and start pushing the ball down the field, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at that watch party, giving everybody high fives, man. That's just gonna be off the chain.
Well, Dolphin winners will be at the game.
Yes.
So will I.
And so crypto too. Crypto's gonna be there too.
Crypto and Dolphin winners are both going to be there. Look at this.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, there is no doubt that having our fans who have become so that they travel so well, right? You look at that game Sunday. Oh my gosh, there was John from Papa Paul's stream. He was at the game and he said it was almost half and half, Dolphin fans and Charger fans.
You look at the video.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt, Papa Paul, but I spoke to a couple of people that were at the game. They said it was a home field advantage on their part. It was ridiculously overwhelmed with Dolphins fans. It made MetLife Takeover look like nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what he was saying. I mean, if you watch the videos, you see aqua all over the place, and then the noise factor when the Bills had the ball or the Chargers had the ball, the noise factor alone that the Dolphins were giving off, it was a home field advantage in a lot of ways.
Yeah, especially in situational downs like third downs and stuff.
Can I just say I heard more Go Fins walking around town Monday morning than I have in my entire life in one day. Like,
well, I feel like the juice is with us, Color, and you guys talked about it a little bit earlier when referring to Richmond. You know, I feel like this team, the only crux that could hold us back is injury to our quarterback, because I feel like we got the depth. I feel like we've got the wherewithal. I feel like the system is perfect for everyone involved on both sides of the ball. I feel like there's going to be some growing pains, but come the end, we're going to get that extra spark when Ramsey comes back and reinvigorates the defense late in the season. And I'm telling you, it's going to be great. And look, Goose Deuce, who's been a fan of the channel for a long time. You know, I hear him again. We are worried about Tua and his injuries, but this is
pretty clean on Sunday.
It's not only that. I look at the guy. And he's put on that dad weight. He put on that bigger man body. He's not a young kid no more. He's a grown man.
He's a man,
bigger and stronger than that from here on out.
Yeah,
so,
I agree, LCAP.
But you know what's funny but one thing is funny is Tua's jersey look clean. Yeah, they play on turf. Everybody's jersey was clean.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
One thing
If
about
you don't
Tua,
have to get dirty.
one thing about Tua, unlike Allen, Tua knows how to slide.
Yes.
So you guys are telling me the bandwagon is getting greased up, right?
He worked on that too.
Yeah. And he knows when to slide. He doesn't slide so early that he doesn't get the first down. Did y'all see that? Like he was past the first down.
Sorry, I even had a freaking stranger fist bump me, dude. Like, go Fins, bro. I was like coming out of Publix Monday morning. I'm like, man, damn.
They know who you are, Color. Watch out, man.
But I do want to put it out there. If you're living in the 561 area and you are a Patriots fan, I do offer a bumper sticker removal service. If
all it takes is goo gone, and it's gone.
Another thing Tua does that Allen doesn't do is every offseason work to get better. Allen's still the same guy throwing interceptions, living on a prayer and a dream, while Tua's consistently working on something to better his game.
Allen's out there golfing when he should be working on things.
Well, that's
Tua's out here. Remember when he came in, they were like, he needs to work on his slide. He worked on his slide. See, now we all think he's been great at sliding. That wasn't the fact. He was terrible at sliding. He got better. He trained at it.
He got better.
You mean Tua had to improve over the years?
Every year he's improving.
I thought he was already the left arm of God for the first time he stepped foot in the Dolphins facility. Come on now.
Here's what I think about the left arm of God connotation. I feel like what that is You can't be the left arm of God when you sling it around like God like. That ain't what it is. I think they more want to say he carries the Lord's blessing.
He can break the bread. He can butter it all at the same time. So
I'm gonna give a shout. I got to give a shout out to. Always got to give a shout out to my brother from another Man of the Hour Sports. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man? I'm always happy that you're here, bro. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I grew up with that guy, so you understand.
That's cool. That's cool that y'all are still good friends. But El Cap, so the thing is, you're so spot on about that take, because Alan, he's had these issues, right? And he's never addressed them. And the problem is things kind of all went his way, especially with the coach that he had, right? So then when that changed, things weren't going his way so good, and he went downhill last year. Whether the Buffalo fans want to admit it or not, and we know they don't, but you look at his game last season, there were some really bad fumbles, turnovers over and over, not one, not two, but three, like right in a row. The guy is not all that, and he's being exposed. He had a great coach that helped him be better. Now he thinks he can do it all himself. He's got that big old head. Tua has a big old helmet, but his head isn't big.
No, here's the deal with Allen. Allen has been catered to by his organization in a way that Tua obviously wasn't in the beginning. And maybe a little bit more as of recent. The fan base has catered to him in a way, but maybe not so much the organization. While on the other end, Allen the organization has consistently made excuses for him, and they consistently look for ways to improve him without him making self-improvements. And that is coming to an end. And the way he plays the game, he's a big guy running around, taking those hits. And that's fine and all. But a la Cam Newton, when it hits the wall, it's done. You can't lean back on being a guy who can do it no more, because the thing that made you special is gone. And that's all he's got. And to be honest, it's 50-50 balls. It's you're playing with fire. Yeah, you might be able to get what you need done, but you also can get burned very easily, and that's where they find themselves on and on and on.
Yes, and he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt, and I'm not trying to say, I hope he gets hurt or anything like that. But you see what he does. You saw that game, and you saw him do things that he didn't have to do. He's not learning. He's not advancing at all. Like you said, El Cap, he's regressing, and he doesn't get it. When you saw,
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark, Miss Pam, and I'm gonna say that Allen is on the spectrum. That's it. Shot in the dark. I mean, I look at him, his eyes are a little close. I think he's got, just a little bit of a learning disability.
Wow.
But I mean, there's a lot of really intelligent people that are on the spectrum. A lot.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
If
He'll probably kill me
don't
in poker right now.
Maybe. But if you don't recognize that it's not just you, if you don't recognize that you need everybody around you, if you think you are the smartest guy in the room, you're only the smartest guy in the room if you're by yourself. Seriously, you got to recognize other
when your
people.
ankles
And he
start
doesn't.
swelling up, you're Carson Wentz. Goodbye.
The smartest guy in the room usually understands that they're not the smartest, and they need everyone else around them to help them get a goal done.
That's what I was trying to say. He's still at the very top of the Dunning-Kruger slope. He has very high confidence in his knowledge, but his knowledge level is very low. As you get older, your knowledge level actually increases, but your confidence in it decreases because you've been told you're wrong your whole life and you've been corrected your whole life, which is why you acquire the actual knowledge and wisdom. But you have less confidence in it as you get older because of that. So that's called going down the Dunning-Kruger slope. He's up at the way top of the Dunning-Kruger slope where he still thinks he knows everything. You know what I mean?
The question is, when do the Bills fans turn on him? because Bills fans are the nastiest of all fans. I don't care.
I think
They're the
to
worst.
save face, it won't happen yet. To save face, because they ran their mouth so much in the offseason. They ran their mouth so much about Tua last season. They've run their mouth so much. So they have to save face for a while. So it won't happen right away. But in week 3, 4, if this continues, we're going to see the exodus. It's going to happen. And
They lose
he
another
won't
division
be able
game,
to
for
handle
sure.
it. He won't be like Tua, tough-skinned, where Tua took the heat and handled it. Like, this guy could never handle what Tua went through, ever.
Well, as like he said in an interview, he doesn't care what anybody thinks. You know,
Which is beautiful, right, Papa Paul? It's beautiful.
Tua is smart about doing that. You know, he doesn't he thinks what he thinks. He doesn't care what anybody else thinks, but he will listen to his coach, and he does listen to his coach and does what is asked of him.
He does. He does, and he's humble, and he realizes that the guys that are on the field with him make a difference, and so that's huge. That is huge. Humility is a big thing, and I don't think Josh Allen can spell humility.
Case in point.
I'll be the first one to admit I know nothing.
We all are just giving our opinion, Papa Paul, right? Like we go off what we see.
Not me, Miss Pam. I got facts for everybody.
Facts. Bring the facts.
I know nothing, and I know him very well.
Yes, he's a.
And that's
I
a fact.
actually, yeah,
That's a fact.
I know him as well, and okay, girl, all right. And I also like the there's a few other guys that sit with him. You know, I'm trying to think. So Mr. Humility, I'm just telling you, it's a big thing. So my brother is a VP of an international company, and he is an engineer, but also in marketing. He gets completely nervous and almost sick every time he has to go and give a presentation. But after he does it, he's like amazing. But he's never to the point where he thinks, oh, I got this. Because when you think, oh, I got this, you're going down.
Very much agree with you. 100%. So what's your opinion for this coming Monday? You have a score in mind, Miss Pam?
So,
before you do, Miss Pam, I just got to jet everybody. You all have a great night. I'm going to be over on Miss Finn's for League Wide Wednesday at 8:00, and I will be doing just that, giving you my picks for the week. So
What's up?
have a great one, everybody.
I'm going to shut this down in about 10 minutes. So
Okay.
In the morning, color.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a decent game. I don't think you can overlook somebody like Belichick because he's always going to come prepared. I don't think he has the weapons to stay with us. I think we are that team this season, and I think Tua is going to continue his streak against the Patriots, and I say we win by at least 10 or more. So maybe 34-14, at least 10. That's really 20, but yeah, 34-14.
I like that. Yeah, it's with Belichick and everything. It's who knows what's going to go on. Our defense really needs to step up this game for this week, though, to stop that run. And I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I think so too. I think our defense is learning a very intricate system, and You know, I almost look at that game Sunday and I feel like they just kept it right there the whole time, like just right into reach. And then when they had to shut it down, they shut it down. And
I made the comment that I felt that Vic Fangio was just managing the game. He wasn't really showing his cards pretty much, and they did just enough. You're right, just enough to win. So I do agree with that premise. But I
agree, Ali.
I do want to piggyback off something you said, and I want to make sure everybody, even though we're crazy around these parts on Finn's tailgate, but I want to bring everyone back to reality a little bit. We can't discount New England's defense. They have a top 5 defense, regardless of what you say. I do understand. I do think we're going to win the game. It could be by 10, but we can't discount that defense. That defense actually did pretty well. Even though they lost the game, they did pretty well against the Super Bowl runner-up. All right?
Yeah.
And they've always had a good defense, and that's why it's that much important that Tua and the offense execute to not have to worry about that defense. They have to execute perfectly and take advantage of it. And we need to make sure on defense we stop that run and do what we have to do there as well. It's that much more important.
I agree with that. Yeah, Ali, I agree with that. And I think the whole thing with Fangio is he didn't want to show too much being the first game of the year.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I said that too, Papa Paul. I
don't
agree
know
with
if
that.
I quite buy that.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
This is the regular season. And Papa Paul, you were the one saying we were never giving up 17 points.
No, I know that. I know that. I
doubled that
wouldn't think
output.
so. I know that. I understand that.
It's
and I
just hard
wouldn't have
for me to
thought that.
believe.
But I don't know how Fangio works either.
See, here's the other thing. It's hard for me to believe that you just paid the highest paid defensive coordinator in the league, and that's what you're getting out of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Something is either up or they have a plan for something. I don't know what it is. The only thing I've come to conclusion is that we don't have the personnel really to run the defense that we've seen him run before. We don't have a true nose tackle. Raekwon Davis is not a true nose tackle, right?
Okay.
We don't have that. We don't have the size in the middle of the field with linebacker, and we're trying to crossbreed an outside linebacker to be a middle linebacker, and that really didn't work. I'm sorry. I love me some ABG. I thought he was going to have a breakout year this year. I didn't really see it in that game, right? And you're not getting the pass rush. So the only thing that seems to be okay, even though Xavier Howard probably had the worst game he's had ever in his career when it comes to being penalized, the safeties and some of the secondary positions are the best positions we have right now, right? So something's got to give from the front line to the linebackers. They got to figure something out there.
Yeah,
and today, real quick, and this is my last point, and everybody can jump in. I'm sorry. And today, I swear, I heard something that they were saying that David Long really was not a schematical piece for their defense against the Chargers. Then why the hell did you bring him here in the first place? If he's not 100%. A piece for you, what the hell did you do that for? It makes no sense at all.
Because that's an excuse, Ali. People are, again, I think, even up here, I'm not trying to call nobody out. But, bro, let's not make no excuses. What happened on Sunday to the defense is they got their ass whooped. That's what happened. It's okay to be a Dolphin fan and say Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Jerome Baker, they got their ass whooped. It happens. Guess what? We can also turn around and say that Derwin James for the Chargers, very good player. Joey Bosa, very good player. Khalil Mack, very good player. Guess what happened to them? They got their ass whooped on Sunday. You see how it works? Like, we don't have to keep coming out here and trying to, Vic Fangio didn't want to show nothing. Bro, that's an excuse.
Yeah.
The players got their
regular
ass
season.
whooped.
It's time to show
That's
what you
exactly
got.
what it is.
Like,
What are we doing?
I hope they're not trying to play keep away.
No, so I don't think that's the whole story. I think that's part of the story. If you understand that Fangio's defense is extremely intricate, there's a lot to it, and these guys are still learning it. They haven't been under there with him for that long, and when you have
how many rookies on this team, Pam? These are veteran professionals.
Yeah, but when something is completely different from what you've been doing, if you go from one job to another in the same company and they're showing you something completely different, there's a learning curve. And so I thought that our defense looked very vanilla, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the same play repeatedly, a lot of the same thing. And so what I'm saying is that there's more to it. He's holding it back because they don't have it down pat yet. By week 3 or 4, I expect to see us explode on defense.
Well,
but
I think the biggest.
And the thing I said, the thing I said too is about Bill Belichick is he's been in that building 20 years. So every player that's been in that building has one system to learn versus now Fangio is coming into a team where he didn't draft anybody, so he's trying to see who fits in his system or not. So that's why I did not want to pay Christian Wilkins yet, because I wanted to make sure that he was a fit in the system. Even though he's a great player, he could be a great player, but if he's not fit in the system, he's not good for Vic Fangio at the end of the day, great or not.
I thought that the biggest giveaway was seeing Van Ginkel out there in the nickel at inside linebacker, bypassing Long, bypassing Riley, bypassing even Channing Tindall, a guy who used to be a defensive lineman in college, a defensive end, making that transition to nickel linebacker. That is as glaring a statement about Fangio's satisfaction with the defense as any. There's still going to be some changes to come, but I know it's not what it's going to be right around now.
Right.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it is brilliant. I'm not going to say KP is wrong. What I would say is what you're going to see, and this is the biggest problem with this defense so far, we can't sit here and play 80%, 90% of the game in zone. Because in zone, you need organic pass rush. And Big Nick, or I like to call him Little Nicky, he put it in the chat. We had 15 pressures. Pressures are cute, but I don't give a damn. What rattles quarterbacks is getting hit. Pressures don't rattle quarterbacks. And then he said we had 3 sacks. Those 3 sacks came in man coverage and bringing the blitz, right? So the problem is in a Vic Fangio scheme where it's he likes zone, right? He's a zone defensive coordinator. That's what he runs. If that's the case, you're going to see a lot of what you've seen on Sunday, because we just don't have that front 4 that's going to get you organic pressure. Until that changes, it cannot be 80-90% of zone coverage, because we're going to get lit up if that happens.
Exactly, because we can't give away 260 rushing yards a game.
Exactly.
And honestly, when you have a cornerback coming up and making a sack, where are all the other guys? Why is the cornerback up there making the sack?
Yeah.
Right.
Might as well have the water
boy. To that point, Papa Paul, they're not being physical. That goes to being bullied up front.
Yeah, that's not a natural sack. That's manufactured.
Absolutely. Just like Crypto has put down the moniker, right? 60-40 on offense, 60% pass, 40% run. It should be 60% zone, 40% man and pass rush.
But
blitzing. It can't be what we seen last Sunday, where at the end of the game we start bringing pressure. It can't be that.
Well, but I also think that the zone doesn't have to be this multiple cushion. I called it the ring of love. We had 5 guys playing way off of one receiver, and it was like a ring of love, like we're going to guard him until he catches the ball. We weren't just playing zone. We were playing way, way, way off at times, and you can't do that. I mean,
well, that's part of zone, Miss Pam.
I get it, but there's zone and then there's zone. So that times that zone was way soft.
Right, but there's no zone and then zone. It's just zone. That's what zone is.
No, there is, if you think about it.
It's like what she's trying to say. Basically, he had 2 different zones where one was like a state, the other one was like a region.
Okay, but at the end
Oh,
of the
okay.
day,
I mean, I
still a
guess
zone.
potato or potato. The fact of the matter is,
Still a,
they're gonna get
It's
killed if
still
they
a
sit
zone,
in.
yes.
they're gonna get
Yeah.
killed by
Yeah, they're
smart quarterbacks when you got
Well,
quarterbacks that
bro.
can make
Even Mac Jones, if we stay in 90% zone again, without
even he
a
will carve up
pass
the
rush,
zone.
without Christian Wilkins, without Jalen Phillips, without Bradley Chubb, without our front four guys getting constant pressure, Mac Jones will eat up this zone.
I mean, we can't give up the run,
Yeah, even a
and we
quarterback
gave
like
it
that
up
will.
just about the whole game.
Yeah. And the zone was like I'm telling you, at times the zone was in range where they could make a play, but at other times it was so soft. They were playing so far off the players that I told you, ring of love. Just go back and look at it. It was like we were giving them an escort, so nothing could happen to them. I mean,
Are you
sometimes
suggesting
it
we
was
was
so
playing?
soft.
Are you suggesting we were playing prevent defense or something?
That's what I'm saying. Hello, thank you, Crypto.
What coordinator last year got excoriated for that?
It has to
I
be.
hate
It
that.
has to be. Listen, it has to be an excuse about the David Long. That's why I really jumped up. When we first signed David Long, his linebacking grade that everybody told me about was he was like an 80-something% in pass coverage, sitting in zones, reading the player, reading the zone, making plays all over the field. What we seen on Sunday when he was in there, he looked completely lost. Don't tell me that he can run a zone concept in Tennessee, but he can't run one here in Miami, right? Like either he just was an absolute atrocity on Sunday, which again we are able to call out without being haters, or something went terribly wrong in what Vic Fangio was trying to do. Because I don't understand how a player that his strength is, when we got him, everybody said, oh, Jerome Baker can't do with this guy. Watch his highlight. Bro, I got nothing but fluttered in my DMs and text message of videotape highlight reel of David Long Jr. making every play in coverage. And Sunday, he looked abysmal. Absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, he was Mr. Invisible. But listen, the reason why the zone looks so soft is it highlights the fact that we're not getting organic pass rush. If we get organic pass rush, trust me, that zone is going to be a lot more biting because they're basically keeping everything in front of them and waiting to make a play on the ball if we get that pass rush. The problem with our team right now is that we got to figure out a way to get 4 or 5 guys to the quarterback.
Yeah,
and that's
one guy that's in the organic pass rush is going to get KP to wear a Gator jersey.
There you go.
You know what? You hit it 100%, Shake. By the end of the year, you'll be wearing the green and orange of the Miami Hurricanes.
That is the ugliest colors I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't go with my skin tone.
It's Jets. It's the same color as the Jets, isn't it?
Yes. It's gross.
No.
It's gross.
Just keep that on the West Coast, Shake, because it's 305 over here.
Is a disease. Hello. Help stop gangrene.
But anyway, I'm gonna shut this down, and I appreciate everybody for coming up. And Papa, I'm looking forward to seeing the show, man. And any final thoughts, guys? By the way, like I said, man, this Sunday night, man, I'm gonna be at Fort Myers and the Keys Bar and Grill. You have 10 wings and 10 fries, which are delicious. I gotta put up the picture. They're very good.
I'm sure.
Very
Make
filling.
sure you send me some
nice fries.
Money.
And also, but today because we're playing New England, I'm gonna do an England tradition. I'm gonna have some fish and chips with a little bit of Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc. That's
nice.
They have a good wine list too, by the way. They have a
Can
good
I just
wine
add
list.
to that, Shake? Can I just add to that?
Go to the fish house.
Yes, sir.
Since it's the New England weekend, I advise everybody to go out and watch one of the top television shows that come out of England. It's on Netflix right now. Top Boy just ended its 4-season run. Top Boy on Netflix. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Yeah, man. Check it out.
I'm out to
And Papa Paul has a watch party as well. Papa Paul, remind us where your watch party is.
Yeah, we're at Glory Days over here in Brooksville on 50, just west of the toll road. I think it's 589 is the toll road that runs through from Tampa up into Crystal River. So, and we're there for all away games.
Oh, Papa, you're from Brooksville? My brother-in-law is from Brooksville. My sister's husband. Yeah, he's a native from Brooksville. Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, and every stream that Pam does is a glory day. I tell you,
it's a glory day. Yeah. You're gonna hear something whether you like it or not.
So, with that
and
being
by
said,
the way, Shake, I have to tell you that your imitation of me, that you did the other, it was so spot on. I almost like had to do a double take. I thought you were me.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it though, man. Shut up, Harold. I wasn't there, but I could picture you. I already know you called hair. You screamed at hair lip, no lip like 3 or 4 times.
You know I did. And Ponytail, she was there. Ponytail and hair lip, both of them. I take them on. I take them on all the time. I'm going to yank her ponytail, and I'm going to try to find his lip. I don't know.
Man, I just don't know how listen, I'm in the chat a little bit. Deuce, I get you, bro. I'm not telling you got to believe in Tua fully that he's the franchise god. That I would never tell nobody to believe that. But bro, some of the stuff you're saying in the chat about like he's not even playing well. Like Deuce, I'm sorry. You're not. You keep saying everybody in the chat has lost their minds. Nah, bro. If you can't sit here and admit that Tua is at least playing well, you're the one. I'm sorry that has lost your fucking mind.
Hey, by the way, Jamaican Zion. Shout out to my man Jamaican Zion. He trolls me when I call the Gator games because Papa Paul, he is a fellow Seminole. Jamaican from Zion.
That's you.
I'm sorry about it. Sorry about it. Sorry about it.
Well,
anyway,
my show's on at 8:45 on YouTube. Be there, please.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up now. So all right, guys, everybody, I appreciate y'all coming up, man. Fins up.
Thank you, Shake.
No matter
Fins
what,
up.
I'll see y'all tonight.
Thank you, Shake Money.
Thanks, Shake Money.
Get ready for that Hurricanes green and orange, baby.
Go Gators.
Hi, baby Ellen.